Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeko. This is Zumamiko, and I am a crocheter, so I'm really happy to have you here. This month, for the month of September, we are exploring ocean animals, which is kind of funny because I'm not really a big fan of the ocean. I find it quite terrifying, actually. Like, you ever think about that? Like, it's so much water that you can't even see the bottom, and if you were to go to like the dark, I used to have nightmares about the dark zone. You know what? That's beyond the point. We're exploring ocean animals this month, starting with the crochet turtle. This one is going to be really mini, and it's going to be keychain size. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about this one. I've made turtles in the past and I've sold them kind of like on my IG page, but they were bigger turtles. So this time we're doing small keychain size because I've really been digging keychains recently. Don't forget to check out the pattern in my shop. The last couple videos I've just kind of dropped by to let you know that the pattern, the written pattern, will no longer be available in my YouTube description. That's a tongue twister. They are now available for purchase in my shop. The tutorial itself will stay here on YouTube for those of you who are like, you can follow along and you can learn that way. But for those of you who need the actual pattern or want the actual PDF pattern that has pictures, that has stitch counts, materials, things like that, it is available for purchase. Link is down below in the pattern section of my description. I do believe that's all I wanted to say. No, it's not. It is not all I wanted to say. Did you notice my shirt? It is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. So if you are not familiar with what sickle cell is, please go ahead and do some research. Drop by, educate yourself, and just kind of raise the awareness on the condition. All right, now I'm done, and we can get into our pattern. Okay, let's talk materials for this project today. We need our 3.5 millimeter hook. This is my favorite. We need a yarn needle. We need some chompers, some scissors. We need some worsted yarn. This was a scrap yarn project for me, so I just went into my scrap bin and I got these two colors, which I thought worked really well together. So this is like, I don't know what this is called. It's like an avocado green and then a pink. We need stitch markers, which I keep on my brace. We're gonna need some polyfill. You will need a fair amount of polyfill. You need it for the body and the head of the turtle. The turtle isn't that big as keychain size, so you don't need a whole bunch. We need 5 millimeter plastic safety eyes. This is the smallest size that I have in my collection because this is a keychain size project. So play with that as you will. If you want a bigger size because that's what you have on hand, absolutely go for it. And then quilting pins are optional. I like to tell my beginners to use the quilting pins just because it holds your project in place as you're trying to sew. So you know, you don't need it, but it's definitely something that's nice to have. And then we're gonna need a keychain because we are making this guy a keychain. So that is it. Let's go ahead and get into our pattern. All right, let's start with the body of our turtle, and we're gonna start with this. It's like a avocado green. I use a lot of scrap yarn and I throw away the labels, which I probably shouldn't do, but it just takes up space in my craft room. So I think this is like an avocado yellow. We'll go with that. I mean, green. So to start our body, we are going to do a magic circle, and we're going to put 6 single crochets inside of our magic circle. So let me go ahead and get situated here. That's our magic circle, and we're gonna put 6 single crochets in our magic circle. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and put our stitch marker in this guy. Row number 2, we're gonna do an increase, which is gonna give us the 12 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, and an increase is just 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And we're gonna do this all the way around till you get 12 stitches. Row number 3 is gonna be 1 single crochet, then an increase. So that's 1 single crochet, and then an increase, which means 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So it's 1 single crochet and then an increase all the way around. Row number 4 is going to be 2 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, and then an increase. 1, 2, and then an increase all the way around. Row number 5 is going to be 3 single crochets and then an increase. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. 1, 2, 3, and then an increase, and we're doing that all the way around. All right. Rows 6 through 7 is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch, and at this point you should have 30 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 2 rows, 6 and 7, and then I will meet you back here when I am done. Okay, so this is what I'm looking like after my row number 7. So for row number 8, we're going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease. 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease, and we're going to do that all the way around. Row number 9 is going to be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, and then a decrease. 1, 2, and then a decrease, and you're going to do that all the way around. Row number 10 is going to be 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So 1, and then a decrease. 1, and then a decrease all the way around. And our final row, row number 11, is going to be decreases all the way around. So just decreases all the way around. There will be a hole left at the end, and that's what we're going to use to stuff our die. So go ahead and do your decreases all the way around. Okay, so this is what I'm looking like so far. I do want to fasten off, and I'm going to leave a really long tail for sewing. And then what I want to do is go ahead and stuff this guy. This is the body, so this is the base of our turtle. He's not going to be very big at all. And so this is going to be the base, so I do want to stuff him. And I'll meet you back here once I do that. Alright, so this is what our little guy is looking like so far. Very cute, very cute. Alright, so let's move on to the turtle shell. And so for my shell, I want it to be pink. And so that's what I wrote in the pattern. If you want to change the color of your shell, I mean, go for it. Or if you want to stick with the pink, you're feeling kind of pinkish today, then that's cool too. So go ahead and grab your shell color, and we are going to start with a magic circle. Magic circle, and we are going to do 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet in each. As soon as I get this hole to close. I don't think it's closed all the way still. Ah! I broke my yarn! We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. Okay, so 2 single crochets in each stitch for a total of 12. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 12. So tragic. This is the piece of yarn that fell off. Okay, row number 3 is 1 single crochet and then an increase. So 1 single crochet and then an increase. 1 single crochet and then an increase. You're going to do that all the way around. Row 4. Oh yeah, 4 already. Good lord. Okay. 2 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, and then an increase. 1, 2, and then an increase, and we're going to do that all the way around. Row number 5 is going to be 3 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. 1, 2, 3, and then an increase all the way around. Alright, we've made it to the last row, row number 6, and this is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch, and in theory you should have 30 stitches. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Alright, I made it to the end of row number 6. I am going to fasten off, and I'm going to leave a pretty long tail for sewing. And this guy is going to go right over our body, just like this. When we do our assembly, it's gonna go right on top, just like that. Okay, let's move right along to the head, and I'm gonna switch back to my green yarn. We're actually done with the pink. So to start the head, we are going to pick up our green yarn again, and we are gonna do a magic circle and put 4 single crochets inside that magic circle. And I'm gonna try not to break my yarn this time. So it's 2, 3, 4. Close our circle without breaking the yarn. Row 2, we're going to do increases. So we should end up with 8 stitches this time around, not 12, because we only put 4 single crochets into our magic circle. So you're looking for 8 stitches after you do an increase in each one. So I'm going to go ahead and do my increases, and I'll meet you back here once I'm done. Row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase. So much like what we did in the other pieces. So that was 1, and then I'm going to do 2 in this one. 1, and then 2, and we're going to do this all the way around. Row number 4 is going to be 2 single crochets and then an increase. So 1, 2, and then an increase. 1, 2, and then an increase, and we're doing this all the way around. Okay, rows 5 through 6 are going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here when we are done. Alright, so this is what I'm looking like after row number 6. Row number 7 is going to be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So we're going to do 1, 2, and then a decrease. So 1, 2, a decrease, and then we're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so our hole is getting a little bit small here, so we want to go ahead and insert our plastic safety eyes. So for me, I'm going to use the smallest size I have, which is a size 5. And I was playing around with the eyes a little bit earlier, and I think that is the size that actually works for this particular project. So I'm going to go ahead and get my eyes, and I'm going to look for the area between rows 3 and 4. So magic circle counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to put my safety eyes somewhere in there. And then I'm going to put my eyes in stitches 1 and 7. We want it to be on like kind of either side of the face of the head. Either side of the head of the turtle. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be right there for me. And so what I found is that if I flip this guy over, I actually like it a little bit better like that, but it totally works like this too. Just depending on what look you're looking for. So let me go ahead and put the backs on this guy, and then I'll meet you back here so we can continue with row number 10. All right, row number 10 is going to be 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease, 1 single crochet, and then a decrease, and we're doing that all the way around. Alright, so our hole is getting pretty tight, and because we started our magic circle with 4 single crochets, I don't want to do this final round of decreases and because it's going to give me 4 single crochets, and that's just going to be too tight to stuff. So I'm going to stuff now, and we will do our final round, round number 11, after we stuff. Alright, my guys, all stuffed, and let's go ahead and do that last row, which is row number 11, and that's going to be a decrease all the way around. We should end up with 4 stitches, and we might just do this one together. So that's okay. Yarn didn't want to yarn. So it's 1, 2, 3. And I am pulling up some of that polyfill. It's okay, I can fix that later. And this is going to be 4. Alright, my scissors. We're going to go ahead and fasten off. We're going to leave a long tail for sewing. That long tail is going to help us to attach this to the body. You don't necessarily need to close the hole, to be honest with you, because this is going to go onto our body. And so it's going to be hidden anyway, so you don't necessarily need to close the hole. Alright, and that's our head. Alright, so let's start on the limbs of our turtle. We're going to do our arms first. So again, we're picking up the green yarn. We're going to do a magic circle. And we're back to doing our 6 single crochets inside of our magic circle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to close our hole, put our stitch marker. Row number 2 is going to be an increase all the way around. So that's 1, 2, 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. Row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet, then an increase. So 1 single crochet, and then an increase. 1 single crochet. Uh-oh. And then an increase. Got ahead of myself. 1 single crochet, and then an increase, and we're going to do that all the way around. Then we're going to do for row number 4, 2 single crochets, and then an increase. So 1, 2, and then an increase. 1, 2, and then an increase all the way around. And so this is what I'm looking like right now. So once you finish rows 1 through 4, this is what we're looking like. What we want to do next is we want to fold this guy in half. And then you're going to sew, well not sew, you're going to put a single crochets along the edge of this guy to close it up so that it stays like this. And this is going to be the arms on our guy. And so to do that, I'm just going to fold. And I like to fold where I ended my row number 4, just because it's a really good starting place to insert those single crochets. I'm gonna fold and then insert my single crochets there. And I want to say it's like 8 single crochets, but let's do them together. So 1, 2, and I'm just pulling up a stitch on each side. So pulling up a stitch here, and then on the back side I'm pulling up a stitch that kind of aligns with that one. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like we need 9. So I added 9 stitches to mine. Go ahead and fasten off, leave a long tail because we're going to use that tail to attach to our body. And there you have it. Go ahead and make 2 of these guys. So go ahead and make your other one. I'll make mine and meet you back. All right, let's make the feet. And this is just a smaller version of the arms, honestly. So this one's going to be almost, it is the same for rows 1 through 3. We're just not going to do that 2 single crochets and then an increase. So let's go ahead and repeat rows 1 through 3 for our arms, which means we're going to start with a magic circle. We're going to put 6 single crochets in our magic circle. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Close our magic circle. Stitch marker. Increases all the way around so that you have 12 stitches. So 1, 2 in that stitch, 2 in the next stitch, and so forth and so on till you get to the end. And our last row, row number 3, is going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase. So that's 1 and then an increase, 1 and then an increase, and you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, this is what I'm looking like after row number 3. So now we need to do the same thing we did with the arm, which is to fold this guy in half, because we can't put it on our turtle looking like this, right? Maybe you can technically, but that's not what the pattern calls for. So we're gonna fold, and then we're gonna add, I think it was like 7 single crochets. Let's do it together. So that's 1, 2, we'll go here. What is that? 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we can get away with 6. Okay, let's do 6. No, I like 7. Let's do 7. So added 7. Fasten off, leave a long tail for sewing, and then you're gonna do that one more time because we need 2 feet. And I'll meet you back here. Okay, so here are my feet. Here are my arms. And you can see the feet are a little bit smaller than the arms, and that's done on purpose. We have our head, we have our shell, and we have our body. So we need to assemble this guy. The pieces are done. We just need to assemble. And the way we're gonna assemble this, the easiest way I found to do this is to start with assembling the shell to the body. So this is where our yarn needle is gonna come in. We want to thread our needle, place the shell on top of the body, but what you want to do is look for the hole that we closed. Usually, for me at least, that's a little bit less neat than when you start the magic circle. So what I want to do is cover that part. And I actually don't need this long tail. I'm going to leave it for now though. So you're going to put that on top, just like so. Just kind of line it up so that it sits right on top. Magic circle to magic circle. Well, magic circle to the hole you closed. You can use a pin if you like. I'm not, because my fingers already hurt and I don't want to stab myself like I do every single time. And you just want to go around and sew this guy in place. Just like this. So you're picking up a stitch in the shell. Let me move this stuff out of the way so you can see a little bit better. You're going back into the shell, and then you're picking up a stitch on the body. And we're just doing that all the way around. You do want to do every single stitch just because it makes your work look a little bit cleaner. And just be patient with it. Put some music on or your audio book or what have you and have at it. And I will meet you back here once we are done. Alright, so this is what my body and my shell is looking like. And what I would recommend you do next is to attach the head. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get that long tail that I told you to leave for the head. And what I like to do is I like to attach the head where that fasten off happened with the shell. You can kind of see right there how it's a little bit uneven, and on the other side it's a little bit more seamless. So I'm gonna attach there. What I like to do is just insert the yarn needle right where that fasten off is and pull out just in an arbitrary place. This is just to get the head on there. He's gonna look kind of wonky, and that's fine. And make sure you play around with like which way you want it. So for me, I kind of like him this way. The expression for me is just a little bit different. It's very subtle, but the expression is definitely a little bit different for me. And so I'm gonna do mine like that. So when you pull this yarn taut or tight, your head just kind of stays in place, but it's a little bit of a bobblehead, right? So we need to attach the head, and the way you're gonna do that is you're just gonna pick up, I like to pick up, what is this, row number, let me find out exactly what row this is. So what I like to do is pick up like row number 5, which is like right there, not the last row, but like row number 5, because that's gonna help me anchor, you see like right there? That's gonna help me anchor the head so that that guy's not going anywhere. And so I'm just going to, kind of like we did with the shell, I'm just gonna pull up a stitch, and I am gonna kind of overlap my shell a little bit just because I like the look of that. You wanna hold the head in place because it will move, and you just wanna go around picking up a stitch in the head. Right now I'm picking up a stitch in the shell just because that's where I am in terms of placement. Pull tight as you go, just like this. And you do, like I said, want to pull tight. Kind of check every so often. See how my head shifted a little bit? Looks like he's cocked to the side. I want to make sure I change it to where I want it, hold it, and continue sewing. And I have a couple turtles that I made, the head is like kind of tilted to the side. I actually kind of like that look. I just didn't want it for this particular turtle. Alright, and now I'm gonna go ahead and attach the turtle to the actual body because I'm outside of the shell right now. And I'm gonna do the same thing all the way around like I've been doing. Just find a stitch that's relatively close to the head and where you have the needle inserted into the head, and sew all the way around, just like this. And this is all kind of arbitrary, to be honest with you. Like, it's kind of random where you put your yarn needle. The important part is that you get the head onto the body and you get it in the position that you like it, and that is it. The patterns that I create, I try to make them as forgiving as possible. So if you don't follow exactly like what I do, you still have a product that is really cute and functional. So if it doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. That's part of the art. The art of crochet is highly dependent on creativity and making things your own, which is why when you order from like a shop, finished products, no two items will ever be exactly the same. That's part of the love that goes into it. Okay, so what I can do is use this yarn, the tail from the body, and I can use that as kind of like an anchor point for me. And I'm gonna tie, what I mean is I'm gonna tie my yarn a couple of times, just like that, and then I'm gonna hide this tail for the head into my work. And this is like killing my fingers. Just like this, and then we can go ahead and cut this. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so what I would do next is I would attach the arms. And don't mind me, I actually recorded previously how to do the arms, and I did them backwards, so I had to like cut my yarn and rejoin. So when you do this, make sure that the magic circle is pointing in toward the body. Okay, you want to count like 3 stitches from the head. So 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go in that stitch. I'm just gonna pull up in an arbitrary place just because I just need to anchor my arms to the body. You see how like now that I like pulled it, the magic circle points up now. And I wasn't paying attention. I actually sewed it that way, and that's not what I wanted to do. You actually want to flip it, and you want the arms to go like this. Okay, so make sure that magic circle is pointing in or down. So now what we want to do is count another 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. You're going to insert, you're going to come up through that 3rd stitch, excuse me. Come up through that 3rd stitch. And then you're going to find the equivalent to the 3rd stitch on the arm. And then you're just going to sew that down. And this is just the easiest way to sew it for me. If you find that, you know, going the other way works better for you, that's totally fine. Totally fine. This is just what I found was the easiest, because anchoring the arm is definitely a plus. For the reason I just described, in terms of like, oh my god, this is so hard to eat in terms of like making sure your arm is the right way. So if you found a different way that works better for you, share it in the comments. Let's share the knowledge. Okay, and that's what we are looking like. I'll take it. I'm gonna go ahead and secure this yarn and then do the other side, and I will meet you back here once I'm done. Okay, and let's go ahead and attach the feet. So this is what we're looking like with the arms, and we're gonna attach the feet in the same way. So I just threaded my yarn needle. For this one, I actually might want to move this tail out of the way. Give me 1 second, because I don't want this thing to get like lost or something. All right, there we go. And now let me thread my yarn needle. So for the feet, you want to look for where you left off in the stitch. For me, that's right there. I'm gonna count another 3. So 1, 2, and 3 is right there for me. Again, I'm just gonna anchor my foot. Make sure your magic circle is pointing down. And then I'm gonna pull up where my 3rd stitch is. So 1, 2, actually, let's do 2. Let's do 2. That was a big 2. And then the equivalent to where that would be on the foot. Pull. And then I'm just gonna go and fill in that stitch now, because there's a gap. You see that gap? And again, I do this because it's just easier for me. But if you are like a beginner and it's easier for you to do it, that's a plane. If it's easier for you to do it a different way, that's a really big plane, then go for it. All right, so that is a loud plane. Go ahead and do your other foot, and I'll meet you back here. All right, this is what we're looking like. Super cute, super cute. The only thing I need to do now is to go ahead and hide this anchor yarn, this yarn that I was using as an anchor. I mean, in all due respect, we really didn't need it, but I do like to keep that anchor yarn just because it helps me to make sure the other tails in the project stay secure. So the only thing I want to do now is to attach a keychain. You know, I slap a keychain on everything. So I want to attach a keychain, and then we're done with this guy. So I actually need to change my needle. If you've seen my previous videos, I kind of semi-vent about how these new keychain rings that I bought are so narrow. Like, they do not accommodate my regular yarn needle, so I had to use a different needle, and this one is super narrow. So let me go ahead and thread this. Why can't I thread this? Help me, somebody help me thread it. There we go. Your help was much appreciated. Okay, so we need a nice long tail, and we need this to be even, because that's going to be a problem. There we go. Does not want to cooperate today. Okay, so again, I'm going to go into a random place, pull up through my magic circle. And forgive me, my fingers hurt right now. So like pulling this is a bit of a task. All right. So what I like to do, if you see my previous videos, is I like to sew in the keychain around the magic circle. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to pull up some stitches around my magic circle and then go back through that hole. So just like this. And that way my keychain is like extra secure. And I'm just doing this. You don't necessarily need to do it like in every stitch. I tend to, just because I might skip a stitch or two here or there, but like I like it to be extra secure, just because like I usually carry these or attach these keychains that I make to my bags, so usually like my purses, and so it's bumping around, it's, you know, bumping into stuff. I'm like, you know, I might toss it once or twice. And so I want to make sure that the keychain is secure through all of that trauma. And so that's the reason behind it. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Like I said before, amigurumi and crocheting is all about preference. It's all about how you want your project to come out. All right, so I am done. And I'm gonna go ahead and use that tail that we just put in that random place, and I'm gonna use it to help me tie a knot. And I'm just gonna go ahead and hide my ends into my work. The easiest way is literally just to poke it through the back, or through the bottom. Just like that. And I'm gonna do it to both sides, and we are done. And we're done, y'all. Look it. It's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. I love it. It was a little bit more involved than what we usually do on my channel, but I think it was worth it. So what can you do with this pattern? I like to do this at the end of each one of my videos, just because like if you want to crochet this for like your business, or if you want to crochet it for like a vendor event that you have coming up or what have you, I want to give you some options. So these are cute as is. Do not get me wrong. You can change the color. You can change the eye size. Like I was talking about before, you can kind of cock the head to the side. You could push the arms up a little bit if you want it a little bit higher, closer to the head. Just make sure it's symmetrical on both sides. You could use a different kind of yarn. This guy, same pattern. Same exact pattern. Let me pan out a little bit so you can see. That's in. All right, this is the exact same pattern. Let me get this cord out of your way. Exact same pattern. The only difference is this was a chunky yarn, and I believe I used like a size, don't quote me, I think it was between a 6 and an 8 crochet hook for this one. This one is worsted yarn with a size 3.5 hook. So keychain size, play, plush type size. So that is a fun way to explore this pattern. And this guy is super cute. The eyes, I believe, are a 12 versus the 5 here. So it is adorable. Either way, you can make a baby and a mama or a daddy. I actually did this with my little one. We made a big one, or she stole a big one. I actually made a donut turtle for her, and then we made a small one to go on top. So mommy and me, that'd be cute for like Mother's Day or what have you. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to press that bell icon, and meet me back here next Monday for another tutorial. This month we are exploring ocean animals, hence the turtle. So meet me back here next week. Stay safe with everything going on in the world, and make sure you crochet some really cool stuff this week. Bye guys.